So welcome to the Tech Talk Show with me, Kazeem, this good afternoon. Today we're going to be discussing zero trust to secure your cloud. And I have Dan Ray with me on the show today. Hi, Dan.
Hey, how are you, Kazeem?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you. So Dan, let's begin things with you telling us a little bit about yourself now, what you do then.
Sure. I am a Microsoft certified trainer, and I am in the United States, so it is morning here, and have been doing certified training for a number of years for different Microsoft partners around the world. Spent about 11 years as a full-time Microsoft employee, and so I've seen both internal to Microsoft as well as from a Microsoft partner perspective.
Okay, let's jump into the show proper now. People hearing about zero trust for the first time might probably be thinking or wondering if it's a technology they can just go and buy, right? So I don't want us to leave the people guessing or wondering, what zero trust is. So I'm going to leave you now to tell us a little bit about what zero trust is all about.
Yeah, sure. So as a Microsoft employee, at one point I had a company issued device. And in the past, that company issued device would be a trusted device that might be the boundary from a security perspective. Zero trust doesn't necessarily provide that level of trust, even from a company issued device. It takes the assumption that maybe the devices or the claims that I say from an identity perspective might need to be verified before they are trusted. So zero trust from my perspective was big in education, where I had worked with a number of schools, and they had as much concern about the internal security of their network as the external security of their network. And in other types of industries, this might have also been something that was adopted sooner than more recently. But Microsoft has a number of zero trust initiatives, and my systems, the computers I use now as a personal or a Microsoft certified trainer, are devices that I don't necessarily set up within either my environment or a company's environment, so they're not trusted to begin with. Then I am challenged for not only my identity in many cases, but also to prove that the device or the application I'm using or the data that I'm going after is trusted.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Just so that people understand this better, why is security an important topic when we talk about the cloud? And what are some of these security challenges that is present in the cloud that the zero trust approach can help us mitigate?
Yeah, great question. I have used social media for a number of years. I've been on Twitter for over 10 years. I think I've just come up on my 13th anniversary as a Twitter user. And security, when I signed up for Twitter, wasn't something I was necessarily focused on. And after a few years, one of the applications that I had given permissions to on my Twitter account actually was compromised and started posting things on my behalf to my Twitter followers. And that was my wake-up call. One of the first wake-up calls I had on social media was I need to think about the security that I have given other applications and other services in relation to those public personas. And at that time, I removed the applications and went through to see the applications that I might no longer be using. And I also set up multi-factor authentication on that service so that it confirms from a device that I am who I say I am.
All right. You've done a very great job, telling us about the old zero trust concepts now. But as a follow-up to that, can you please tell us about the available technologies now that can help with the old concept of zero trust? You've mentioned you've worked as a Microsoft employee, you're an MCT as well. So I'm sure there are a number of technologies that we have that can help people with this whole idea of zero trust. So do you mind to share a few of those technologies you know can help?
Sure. From a standpoint of zero trust technologies, there are technologies from Microsoft that allow you to configure and set up the the configuration for the devices that you use. And one of those would be multi-factor authentication from a standpoint of Microsoft's services, so that if I pull down from my phone, my tablet, a computer, Mac, whatever application platform I use, I have the ability to make sure that I'm not only using my username and password information, but I'm also authenticating with another factor. That could be another email, that could be a authenticator app like the Azure Authenticator app, or it could be as simple as sending a text message to my phone or calling my phone to confirm it's me coming in to that application or to that connection. So even if the application and a system is trusted, as I cross over into other tenants or companies, that multi-factor authentication is one of the aspects of zero trust that can confirm not only am I on a device and I'm saying I'm Dan Ray, but confirming that it's really Dan Ray on that device.
Oh, okay. So MFA is one technology that can help. So we've had the whole idea, the concept of perimeter security for a very long time. But the problem now is the fact that many of the employees now work from home, especially now due to COVID. So that makes the whole perimeter security concept, difficult now to define. But now that we're talking zero trust, how is zero trust different from perimeter security that we're all used to?
Yeah, so zero trust doesn't necessarily take into account a trusted location or set of locations, and it establishes that trust from the ground up. So the device, the user, the applications, and the data that I'm accessing can all be assessed before trusting that I am who I say I am, or that I have access and certain privileges to applications, data, communication. And one thing I've seen with that is the ability to either take into account the conditions of the network that I might find myself on. So with conditional access, not only are well-known locations that have been logged as I use my home network, it can take into account, hey, Dan's credentials are normally used in the Midwest of the United States. Why am I seeing an attempt to log in as Dan somewhere where he's never been? And it can take those kind of risk factors into account to either alert administrators to confirm that it is me using those services, or to prompt me and challenge me to make sure that I am who I say I am.
Okay. Yeah. So now let's have a little talk around zero trust with data in the cloud, right? I mean, the amount of data that we have up there in the cloud just continues to grow. And so is the cloud apps as well. So how do we achieve zero trust with data protection in the cloud?
Yeah. So one thing about the cloud data would be making sure not only is the cloud data protected, but any data that I might have accessed from the cloud is protected. So for instance, information rights management that can be put around a file or data can follow the file, whether it stays in the cloud or even if I've downloaded the file, and can do things like expire the content or give access and certain access to the content. OneDrive, as an example, OneDrive for Business, I can send you a link to maybe an agenda. And if that agenda is only good for a certain amount of time, or maybe it's pricing information for doing a class, I can expire the content and keep it so it can't even be downloaded from OneDrive. So I don't have to concern myself with somebody having an offline copy of the file or having access after the file has expired.
So you've mentioned that zero trust isn't something that we can really buy off the shelf. So it's more of a concept, right? Yes, there are different technologies that we can use to make it happen. But are you able to show us a quick demo, that can help us, see what the implementation of zero trust approach looks like in practice now, especially for those are new to this whole idea of zero trust?
Yeah. One of the first things I'll share here, and let me know if it's coming through okay.
Yes, it's up now.
Excellent. I'm logged into a Windows sandbox. So a session in Windows that if I close the application or the sandbox, it resets everything. And up in the right, if I go to the Microsoft tenant, so I'm logged in as my DESA Enterprises environment, and I'm making the move over to Microsoft. What will happen as I try to authenticate as a guest into Microsoft is Microsoft will confirm not only my identity externally, but give me a multi-factor authentication challenge to prove that I am who I say I am. And so here I believe is that dialog box saying, who are you? And then here is the Azure Authenticator. If I don't have maybe the phone that Azure Authenticator is set up on with me, I can actually say I don't have that available. And I can use email as a verification. Or I have other options available to me for authenticating. So I could get a simple text to my phone, confirming not only that I know my phone number, but then getting a code to that phone and a one-time code to log in and switch my Teams environment from one organization to another. And then what is available within Microsoft Teams, and the data now is based on me providing that additional layer of security. The files that I have access to could also be protected. So in the case of our prior Microsoft Midwest Toastmasters Club, files now I have access to, but I can control what type of access I have to those files as well. And if I close my sandbox here, so my Windows sandbox is here and I'm logged in as my Microsoft credential. I have other environments that I have access to. From a security perspective, when I close the sandbox, everything that I did in the sandbox is removed and restored to a pristine environment. So Teams is uninstalled, my browser history goes away, and the Windows Sandbox is another way to think about zero trust. It's another copy of Windows that is pristine and has internet access, and as easy as closing it can be reset.
Yes, okay. Thank you so much for that quick demo then. So for the people listening to us right now that might be viewing this at a later time, who are interested in learning a little bit more about Zero Trust, are there resources, are there places you like them to go to pick on, resources they can leverage? Are there some hints you like to share?
Yeah, excellent question. I saw a Zero Trust link that I'll put in the chat here.
Okay.
And Microsoft has a whole area set aside on their site for Zero Trust. So aka.ms/Zero Trust is a great place to start your journey in understanding Zero Trust. There's a quick intro video there, as well as different solutions for implementing Zero Trust.
Okay. So thank you very much once again, Dan, for joining me on today's edition of the Tech Talk. So I don't know if there's any last words now before we say bye-bye.
I really appreciate the invite. This was very, very fun for me, and nice to meet you in person. Or virtually in person, right?
All right, thank you. So this is how much we've got on today's episode of Tech Talk with me, Kazeem. So let's make sure that we do continue to keep safe, and we can have a rewatch of the previous episode on my YouTube channel. So it's the Tech Talk or the Tech Talk Wednesday with Kazeem on YouTube. So do so, and please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and let other people also know about it. So on that note, it's bye-bye from myself and Dan. So do continue to keep safe. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.